Today, I'm going to be shooting this inspirational living room. And the first thing that you'll notice in here is the sheer size of this space. I've seen so much content around how to make a larger space feel more cozy and more comfortable, and I've got my own take on it. In reality, you can't speak to somebody who's sitting 6 meters away from you. So of course, sectioning out the room is a great way to start. However, that is not the only thing that's important. There are so many other ways you can make a large space feel warm and more family orientated. So here's what you've got to know and do first. First of all, and I know people keep repeating this, but know your family. In this particular case, you have 3 generations of family, very young kids, grown adults, and grandparents, and they're all within one space. It's such a transitional space, and so many different people using it, and that's the first important thing to know. How are you going to make this space work for all the different generations? The second thing to know about this space is it's going to be used for both cozy time, TV time, and also for having guests over. So it's going to need to be elegant, charming, warm, cozy, and all the other things you'd want it to be in a normal living room. So how are you going to combine those 2 things together? So the first thing I did in here was create 2 separate areas. So coming back to sort of sectioning the spaces off. I've used light colors to make it feel grand with touches of glamorous blues across the room, and I've kept that repeated throughout. I've also then used really luxurious centerpieces, bespoke tables, but then combined them with really comfortable sofas, really gorgeously comfortable chairs, and layered everything with textures, different materials, different stones, different woods, so that it really feels warm and together, but not too done up, so it's almost not too perfect. You can see here where I'm standing that I haven't been afraid to play with color, texture, and pattern all at the same time. You know, we often limit ourselves and feel like a certain scheme has to look a certain way. And so, you know, we don't go into that zone where we feel we can play around and mix materials. Whereas, you know, this is a great example of showing you that you can do it and it looks great. And it's got that fun side, but it also looks glamorous and charming. Now, I love accessorizing tables and adding lots of different things on a table. But sometimes when you're trying to create that more grand feel, it's nice to just have one centerpiece to make everything look that little bit more opulent. Within the same area, you can see that actually I've used something that's slightly more family, something slightly more rustic chic, and added in some baskets. I think these might have been either, you know, the White Company or even Andrew Martin. And what I've done in here to make it look cozy is added in a throw, which many of you know I love to do. And on the other side, I've added in this really luxurious looking tassel and thrown in a scatter cushion. And so, you know, it's this mix of rustic chic with luxurious and grand. And it keeps that room feeling like it's done both. You can entertain in here, but you can also have family in here. And it's these small touches that really break the rhythm in a room. You don't have to throw on every throw casually. Some can look quite smart. So, you know, you can use a more casual throw, but lay it in a more smart way to create that sort of mix between the smart and the casual. Another thing I find people are slightly afraid of is using 2 different types of coffee table and 2 different, not just styles, but also materials. And one really beautiful thing that you can do in a big space is actually add in more fabrics, because, you know, fabrics are warm, and the more texture and the more fabric you have, the more warmth you've got. The great thing with ottomans is they also work brilliantly for families, because you can imagine someone sort of chit-chatting to their daughter or son or mother or father and just, perching on the ottoman. It's a very social way to have a seating/coffee table area. This is another great example in the second section of where I have a really, really comfortable sofa. It is, probably one of the most comfortable sofas I've ever sat on. This is actually mainly foam, and it's a good example of how using foam can be a great way to keep the shape of something, keeping it looking more formal, but at the same time really adds massive comfort, and with the right scatter cushions, it just feels amazing. Not all centerpieces have to be masterpiece sculptures. You can, go with a great large bowl of orchids and it will look fantastic, as it does here. It's always a really nice way to break up the monotony of adding in too many sculptural pieces or too many ceramic pieces. Add in some greenery, add in some real life centerpieces that will look fantastic. You can, of course, use any flower. I love orchids. I think they work really nicely with my schemes because they're really quite neutral. So if you do like them, then it's a great place to be able to use them in the center of a table. This was actually a bespoke armchair that we made. We wanted something a little bit different, and like I say, not everything has to be bespoke. You can just upholster or re-upholster your furniture in different fabrics, and that makes a massive difference. But in this case, we did want some bespoke pieces, so it's nice to have a mix if you can do. It's really lovely to play with your walls, to add warmth by, adding interest to every different wall in the room. And we really have done here. We've created these paneling areas where we've got upholstered walls, wallpaper, painted timber, mirrors. And then on the other side, we've got these really inspirational, glamorous, uplifting display units. And, they really do just add a touch of warmth and depth. I absolutely love this sculpture, and I love that it's actually within the furniture surrounding. So, it doesn't feel like you've illuminated it too much by, standing it on its own on a big stand. It actually feels like it's part of the furniture and part of the living space. And I am a massive believer that art and the spirit of art should be used and seen throughout the home, because I think we as people love to be surrounded by art, whether that is within the furniture itself, within a painting, a sculpture, or simply a beautiful surrounding, which in our opinion is art. Thank you for watching my home tour video. If there was anything here that you really loved, let me know in the comments box. But also, if there's any more advice or help you want, let me know and I will try and help you. At the same time, I am hoping to do lots more of these house tours and home tour videos. So if you feel like there are other things that you want me to show you within those house tours, then do let me know and I'll try and include that in my next video. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe.